So game week 3 of the URC is upon us. There are some really important matches about to take place that could define your club's season. We're going to be taking a closer look at each and every matchup, and we'll be answering the question that's on everyone's mind. Can Munster bounce back? Let's get stuck in. So on Friday night, the Scarlets are hosting Connacht. Two opposing starts to the season. The Scarlets have only managed 2 points thus far from their opening day draw against Benetton. In both games, they've received 2 yellow cards. Their discipline is costing them points, and it's an issue that needs to be addressed. Young Max Page has looked brilliant form and will hope to lead the Welsh boys for their first win of the season. Unfortunately for them, Connacht have looked outstanding. Scrum half Ben Murphy has all the Galway girls grinning. There was a video floating around of Bundy Aki on the sidelines last week, looking like a caged lion, chomping at the bit to get out there. And I think Connacht could do a number on Scarlet here if they're not careful about racking up the penalty count. Also on Friday night is Cardiff and Glasgow. Cardiff have somehow found themselves second in the table. Maybe there is method to the madness in kicking away the ball so much after all. I recently read an article about how so many of the World Cup winning teams kick at a higher percentage, and so far it's working for Cardiff. Glasgow have had a mixed start. They won't be happy with the loss in the Kingspan to Ulster, but hockeyed Benetton last week. Big game for these two clubs to lay down a marker for the season. Lions vs Edinburgh is the early kick-off on Saturday. The Lions kicked off their season with an impressive win over Ulster. Quain Horn really looks like the real deal. The Lions were scoring tries for fun last week, and a wounded Edinburgh could be the next meal. Edinburgh put up a great fight against Leinster in the opening round, but fell yet again to the Bulls last week. They've had some tricky fixtures, but they're going to have to start finding a way to leave with more points if they're going to be serious knockout place contenders. Up next, the Bulls host Ulster, another great challenge for both teams. The Bulls will look to build on last week's win, while Ulster will hope to reclaim some pride lost to the Lions. Ulster's new signing Aidan Morgan has been really impressive, and while the Bulls are without Curtly Arnsa, now is a great time to steal some points. Benetton will attempt to stop the Leinster machine, but in all likelihood will get crushed by it. The lineups are out, and you might as well be looking at the Ireland squad. All the big boys are back, and they will be looking to make a statement. If last week has proved anything though, there's no easy games in the URC, and the likes of Malachi Fekitoa and Jacob Umaga will do their utmost to upset the Dubliners. The Dragons versus the Sharks up next. The Dragons were slayed by Leinster last week, while the Sharks sunk against Connacht. Both teams will be desperate for a win. Ifile Fassi, the man with the most clean breaks in the URC last season, will be up against Welsh star boy Rio Dyer. Dyer has looked dangerous at times this season, but the Dragons will need him now more than ever. Zebre will host the Stormers and hope to build on their big win last week. It's great for the league to see that every team can cause an upset and slowly start to turn their tide around. The Stormers had a very disappointing opening day loss to the Ospreys. It's imperative that they correct that with a win in Italy. But as Munster discovered last week, that's easier said than done. Before we cover the last game of round 3, if you're enjoying the video, please do make sure to like and subscribe. It honestly massively helps us out. But without further ado, can Munster bounce back against the Ospreys? Last week was borderline humiliating for the Munster men. What stood out most was a lack of professionalism. Cue the return of the internationals. O'Mahony, Tyg Byrne and Jack Crowley hope to light a badly needed fire in this squad. Unfortunately, we don't have the same depths as other teams. We're an injury away from a ball boy on the wing next week against Leinster. The Ospreys were led by captain Jack Morgan last week and had an impressive win against the Stormers. They're no walkover. If what's left of our backline can stay fit for the 80 minutes, I have no doubt that we can get back to winning ways here. Now is the time for players to hold their hand up and really state a claim to the starting jersey and prove that they'll work their bollocks off for the 80 minutes, because last week, unacceptable. If we can do that, to the brave and faithful, nothing is impossible. Cheers for watching, catch you at the next one.